Just test the icon. Hello, hello. Are we hearing me? Can't tell. We got. All right. Okay. So I heard myself on the stream. All right. Hello, everybody. Sorry for that little delay there. I've been preparing some stuff, and I'm being slow at doing it. So I'm going to see if I can grab some other folks to come and join me, so it's not just me talking myself. And also see if I can get hold of Blitz. All right, we're probably going to be pushing the dojo back an hour because the clock's changed, and seems like this period of time's not the most most reliable for people. Freeze is going to come and join us in a bit, but for now it's just me. We're going to have hopefully we'll get somebody else show up as well, but that's okay. All right. Hi there, Ragnarok Legion. Yeah, so I'm just saying in general, maybe later we'll pushing it back an hour because I am a bit okay. All right, let me load up the game. Sorry, I've been doing some frame checking stuff, and I will get that on ready for you guys to see as well. So, how do I do slideshow? Can't begin. Okay, let me share this to the screen, and then Stag is going to restream it. For us, is that working? Can you see what makes a bash good?
Yep. Trying to get the window on stream. Appears it doesn't want to right now.
What's this about?
Oh, Normie, we're going to be doing talking about what makes a bash good. In particular, we're going to be covering the 4 dodge bashes, of which there are now quite a lot in the game, and they're all various different strengths and various different capacities. And it's good to talk, and I'd like to talk about what we're going to be. Sorry, I just missed. I'm looking at the stream and not seeing it going over.
Yeah, I'm okay. You miss it?
But no worries, no worries. So yeah, we're going to be talking about the 4 dodge bashes. What makes each one better than the other ones, and we'll do a little bit of a deep dive into some frame checking stuff that I've been doing, which I don't know, you might find slightly interesting. As to how we get all these numbers that we look at, and then how they differ across the different bashes, at least the ones that I've measured, and what the consequences that has for them in game. So, whilst waiting for that to come up, oh, that's your game, Stag. There we go. Hey, already have it. Perfect. All right. What makes a bash good? This is I've prepared a little slideshow which I've half finished because I've not actually particularly well organized in my life. How it is, come up with these ideas, and then I'm like, I have to actually do them. Great. What makes a bash good? So, first off, we have a lot of heroes that have 500 MS dodge bashes now. In fact, there are 12 of them in the game. We have the 3 fast bashy boys, Conqueror, Blackprior, and Warlord, and we also have some of the sort of Legion kick varieties, which are Centurion, Gladiator, Griffin, Orochi, Shigoki, Shinobi, Kyojin, Jangjin, and Janhu, and who knows, maybe more of them coming in the future, with future reworks or with future, or with new characters. It seems to be somewhat of a standard that characters now have a fast 500 MS bash as an opener. We'll see things. So currently there are some heroes that have slower bashes from openers, like we have the variable time bashes, like Warden and Warmonger, but we also have one very, very slow forward dodge bash, which is Lawbringers for dodge shove. I can imagine in the future that might get changed into a 500 ms bash, because 700 ms ones like his are fairly useless. But maybe they won't. Maybe they will. We will see. But as you know, when looking at this whole list of characters, some of these characters are much better than others. So, what are the factors that make these bashes better or worse than other bashes? So, sorry, I'm going too fast. All right, my scroll wheel has like fast scrolling. Okay, so we're going to go over a few different factors one at a time. First, like I've written a few of them down here. I have some things to say about all of them, but it's going to be a little bit ad hoc when we get to the recoveries and safety and tracking and timings and stuff. So first up, we've got reactability or mix-up potential, which is how easy is it to react to this 500 ms bash. So even though they're all the same speed, there are lots of factors that go into making them actually fully unreactable. It depends on platform a little bit and each individual. But if you can react to the single stimulus, then there are other factors that can make the bashes better or worse than others, and part of that is to do with the reactability and how easily you can mix them up. Secondly, and this one's quite an easy one, which we'll just sort of skim over, is the damage and chain potential of bashes. And then we'll be talking about recoveries and overall the safety of the bashes. And then we'll talk a little bit, which is what kind of the meat and potatoes of what I really wanted to go over today, which is the tracking and timings. And then we'll maybe briefly mention on range, hit stun, and other properties, like how good they are in the meta. And I guess probably what we can do first before we get into all of this stuff, because as you can see, my slides are fairly brief here, fairly bare here. If we go back to Stag's game, or then we can talk. We'll just first off, we'll just start. Actually, let's go back to this one here. We can rank the bashes in terms of how good they are. Which characters would you say have good ones? And Normie here is our sort of a competitive expert.
Why do I do tier list of bashes?
Yeah, we can go.
Okay, okay.
Essentially, which characters have good bashes for this list?
It's gonna be easier if I do it from best to worst.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay. Okay, so I have to take into account everything, not just the bash, like potential and.
Well, like, what do you over? I mean, they all factor in a little bit. So if the character's got a really, really good forward bash, but just a shitty kit in general, then I guess you can talk about that bash being good. But if the character has a shitty bash.
This is not reactability. This is quality of bash.
Yeah, we're talking about overall quality, and then we'll break it down into those different things later on.
Well, I guess then, Shinobi is probably the best one if we're talking mix-up potential, and it's just as reactable as most of the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
While having probably the best mix-up potential out of these ones. JJ is definitely up there with the unblockable. Wow. Okay. Well, Shigoki's ones is not usable from neutral really, only as a form of defense. Orochi's one used to be the best by far, but something happened. Don't know what. Sense is more reactable than average. I guess it's the really defined animation.
Yeah.
You have Zanhu's is really good. Zanhu's and JJ's are basically the same, minus hit stun, which I guess we're gonna get into later.
We'll actually get into some other differences between Janhu and JJ pretty soon. Before that, because I have updated information that makes them slightly different.
Okay, Warlord has the second, if not the first, as in reactability. How easy it is to react to it, being 100 ms into the dodge. Problem is, even if it hits, you get 15 damage or 13 for Konk, I guess. And that's it. No mix-up potential whatsoever, which is actually a big downer. Then we have Gladiators. Again, not really a great one to use from neutral. Won't really get you anywhere due to chains being kind of bad. BPs is really good still, with the only bash out of the 100 ms into the dodge bashes that actually has a mix-up after it with the unblockable. Griffin's is all right, I guess, when we're not talking comp level, because you do get into the kick mix up, which at high level the kick is reactable, so it's a bit of a different story. What else
I
we
guess
have?
lastly, got
Kyoshin.
Kyoshin's bash. Where would you put that on the spectrum?
Well, its reactability is a bit like it's a bit easier to react to than JJ, Janhu, Shinobi because the animation is also very defined. And in terms of mix up, it's like an A tier mix up with S being Shinobi and JJ.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. Cool. So
which one
overall,
did
would you say the
Oh, I didn't
worst
say
one of
Conk. I
the-
didn't say Conk. Conk is
Oh,
soon to be one of the best bashes. But
yeah.
as of right now, even though he can chain after his bash punish, he can't really chain into anything that's scary. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, when it's in the reworks that's coming, the input's going to be pushed back to 300 ms. So that's going to change the.
yeah. What were you gonna say?
So I'm just going to say it. So whilst it'll be better, have a slower startup as well.
Oh, it's 200 or now?
It's going to 300.
300.
Yeah. So it'll be like Kyoshin and Orochi, all those ones.
Okay. I mean, that's still. I mean, the mix up of it is what's gonna carry the bash, not the reactability.
Fair enough. Well, we will switch. I guess now we'll talk about. So we've got these factors. We'll go switch to the reactability. I have an empty slide here, and then. Oh no. Okay. All right. Well, there we go. Doesn't matter. Is Stag still there, or he said he's gone to do his laundry? So we might have to talk a little bit before he's got time to open up his game, and switch over the spectating to talk, so we can demonstrate some of it.
Okay. I mean, I can make like a list of reactability and then show them in game when he's
Pardon?
back. We can talk about them as a list and then show him when he's back.
Yep. Okay, that's fair enough. Well, we'll demonstrate a bit in a bit. So we're talking about the reactability first of these bashes. I'll come on switching backwards and forwards between these two slides in that case.
I
So
mean,
we're going to
go back to this one, yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk a little about the reactability of these ones. So, in theory, all of these bashes, if you can react to orange, all of these bashes should have exactly the same reaction window. So they've got two. They are a 500 ms bash. They have, so that means the indicator is 400 ms from when it shows you on the screen, and you then have, after that 400 ms indicator, you have 167 ms to dodge it. Sorry, you'll have oh my god, 167 ms lag on your dodge iframes. So the overall input window to dodge this bash is going to be 233 milliseconds, because you have 500 minus 100 lag compensation where it takes away the indicator, minus 167 ms for your dodge iframe to start up. So in theory, if you have below 233 ms single stimulus reaction, and you can find any of these as single stimulus, in theory you can react to any of them. And if you don't have 233 ms reactions, or you can't react that fast within the context of the game because you're playing on a worse system, or you have a lot of input lag because you're on console, then a lot of these are going to be unreactable completely. So then how strong these bashes are against you will vary depending on factors. The reactability won't be a factor. So for example, when I'm playing against these characters, I can't react with single stimulus timing to any of these bashes. So this factor of reactability and mix-up potential, to me, it's the mix-up potential is a thing, because that also implies the mix-up that's available off the bash itself. But the reactability is always the same, so it's always pretty low for me. I can just about, if I'm prepared for it, I can see that they're doing a forward dodge, and I can dodge at that timing. But in terms of what they can each do from the bash, that varies quite a lot. So let's talk quickly. Let's talk about, in that case, what other things they can do off a bash, which is a mix-up potential, essentially. So let's say you can't reaction dodge them. So we'll cover first. We'll talk about if you're like me and you can't reaction dodge any of these ones on indicator, you're just reacting to their forward movement and then you're dodging based on a read that they're going to do the bash or they're not going to do the bash. So we can go through the list. First off, we have these ones: Gladiator, Blackprior, and Griffin. So these have their bashes start 100 ms into the dodge. The rest of them all start 300 ms into the dodge, and these three have it 100 ms. So if we go to here, I've got the fast bashes and the Legion kicks. So the fast bashes, I think, are probably these. We're looking at the lower end of reactability, the fast bashes are always going to be less reactable because you have less time to see the dodge starting up before you can dodge them. So for a slower player like me, or if you're on console, these fast bashes on their own are going to be quite difficult to react to. Just the neutral one, the fastest timing is going to hit you at 600 ms instead of hit you at 800 ms. So these are already going to be harder to react to than the Legion kicks. You have harder to react to the mix-up happening.
Basically,
So
it doesn't you don't have more or less of a window to react, but the extra 200 something ms gives you more of a window to prepare for the bash and make a read.
So they're not. So I put these ones, Conk, Blackpower, and Warlord. Put them probably at the if you're low reactions, they're probably the harder end of ones to react to. And then the next level of bashes that are sort of easier, are harder to react to, are the ones where. And I actually guess let's talk about the worst ones, the easiest ones to react to, rather. We're zigzagging around. I'm terrible at this. We're talking about the easiest ones to react to. Those are the ones that have both the most. They have later starting, so they're all in the Legion kick versions. So Cent, Glad, Griffin, and all these guys. And so they start late, and they have a big animation, and they have nothing they can mix you up with other than the bash itself. So we're talking Gladiator, we're talking Shigoki, we're now talking Orochi because his forward, somewhat. Orochi not quite as much, but Shigoki, Gladiator, Centurion, and probably Kyoshin as well. And I guess technically JJ. So these ones, when you dodge those guys, there's nothing else they can do from a forward dodge that will catch your dodge other than a delayed dodge into guard break.
You sure? I remember myself that with the Kyoshi I'm able to do a light. Even if I miss the kick.
No, you cannot do anything after making the kick with
What?
Kyoshi.
Yeah, you can't dodge. He doesn't have a dodge light attack that will catch later.
There's also the bashes are split into two different types, which is the ones that you can follow up after, and the ones that you can't.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to recoveries and safety, because that's quite a lot. That's a big factor in that. But here we're talking about just when you see the forward dodge, what do you do, and what are your choices to do? So you can basically your choices are how many things do you have to think of? Do you just have to dodge because you know there's a bash coming and there's nothing else you can do? Is there something you can mix it up with? And that kind of thing. So, for example, against Gladiator, when he forward dodges, and you see a forward dodge, if you dodge early enough, his bash isn't going to hit you. If he does a forward dodge light, it's going to miss. And to be honest, the bash, even if it does hit you, doesn't really do much. So, Gladiator's forward dodge bash is pretty terrible as an offensive tool because it doesn't do anything. And when you see the dodge, you can just dodge, and then that's fine. When it comes to if they're mixing it up with an empty dodge into a guard break, that depends on their forward dodge guard break recovery, and most characters have 600 ms recovery in their forward dodge, which means that if you dodge before 400 ms into their dodge, they can't dodge and guard break you. So if you see it early, that's a 300 ms reaction, so that's quite easy to do. See it early, dodge, you will not get. They can't dodge and guard break you. If Stag was here, we'd be able to demonstrate that. But we don't at the moment, so you just know that if you early dodge, they dodge forward, try and guard break you, nothing happens. So So yeah, these ones, like I said, the ones that don't have mix-ups on that, probably Gladiator, Goki, JJ a little bit. I mean, he can do his 4 dodge heavy and then chain after that, and he can chain after his bash as well. But in terms of like how strong the mix-up of the bash itself is, these ones probably aren't great. Griffin has a slightly better time of it because if he forward dodges, if you do a forward dodge light with the Griffin or forward dodge heavy, light is actually, if you do a forward dodge light and they dodge on your forward dodge light, if they don't do a dodge attack or something that beats your chain attack, you can hit them with the dodge bash and that will hit them. And Kyoshin's like that as well with his forward dodge heavy. If you have a chain 500 less bash, you can normally not dodge that after having dodged a previous attack. So, yeah, again, it would be nice if Stag was here to demonstrate that, but it's fine. Goki, on the other hand, I guess Goki can do his forward. If you try an early dodge and he has his forward dodge heavy, he can chain into a headbutt and catch you as well. I guess so, but it's quite a lot slower than Jangjun and Kyoshin's bash and Griffin's dodge light. So that's not quite as much of a factor. Centurion also is like that. If he does a forward dodge heavy, actually Centurion is probably the worst in that sense, along with Gladiator. If he does a forward dodge heavy, you get a guard break. So Kensei is not on the list because Kensei doesn't have a dodge bash. He's got a soft flank bash, which is a different kind of thing. And also Kensei is fully unreactable. No one's will be reacting to that one either. So, but Centurion is particularly bad in this sense because you can dodge, and if he does a heavy, doesn't matter. You're gonna avoid the heavy. You'll get a guard break on that heavy. And if you dodge early enough, he can't get you with a guard break either. So the only thing you have to worry about is then him doing a late dodge, and then we'll get into the next section on tracking. We'll talk about the times you can have where you can dodge all of them. So then from these ones, we have then characters like Shinobi, who have mix-ups with their forward dodge. They can do a lot more stuff in their forward dodge. So for Shinobi and Jianhu, probably, and he used to be Orochi, although Orochi's somewhat. So Shinobi and Jianhu, they have their forward dodge and bash, and they also have forward dodge heavy, which they can feint into a guard break. Which means if you dodge on the timing for the bash, you normally get caught by a feinted heavy into a guard break. Well, actually, it's something we've discovered recently that means that's not entirely true for Jianhu, but for Shinobi this is the case. You can't dodge his forward dodge kick on one timing, and then his forward dodge heavy will catch you if he feints into a guard break. Orochi, again, had a similar kind of, it was a similar 50-50 in that you would, if you dodged what you thought was a kick and he did his dodge light, he'll catch you with the undodgeable light. Of course, that's no longer undodgeable, so instead the mix-up is between his dodge kick and storm rush, but if you have a fast enough reaction time, it's quite easy to distinguish those two. I personally can't do it, so for me, Orochi is still quite a strong bash, because for me it's quite a big mix-up between whether or not he's going to do a storm rush or a kick, so I can't react to the difference between them. But for somebody like Normie is able to react to both the kick and the storm rush, and so at the top level, this is not a strong bash at all, because you're just reacting to the kick, and the storm rush is not a threat. The forward dodge light was a threat if you were playing a character that couldn't block top and dodge sideways, because distinguishing those two was very, very difficult. But now, much less so. Shinobi, on the other hand, you still can't distinguish between his heavy feint guard break and his bash, and the same with Jianhu. Distinguishing those two are very, very difficult. Of these two, only Shinobi's one is actually very strong, because Jianhu's has another fatal flaw, which is not in the reactability mix-up potential, but it's in the trackings and timings section, which we'll get to next. I'm going to see if I can try and open my game without it getting rid of the... Oh no, that's not the right thing I want to do.
If you're streaming your screen, you'll be able to. If you're streaming your slideshow, then you're not going to be able to.
Yeah, I'm just like, if I then try and... If I just minimize this, it's going to disappear.
I'm gonna try and load up my game. Don't worry about it.
Alright, okay. Cool. Well, I'll load up my game anyway. There we go. Just have to see this. So now... Right. Alright, we'll get the game going. Am I? If I change my screen that I'm sharing to, yeah, I can just do that. Dodoy. If I just go to screens and pick screen 1, then you'll just see that. There we go. I can take this off. Slideshow. Where's the bottom slideshow? There we go. All right. So we're going to go and talk. We're going to demonstrate some of the reactability mix-up stuff of these ones. And I guess Normie, then you can probably could you talk about the animations of these whilst we're
Yes.
getting that ready?
Okay, so we're gonna take out the 3 current fast bashes, quotation marks, because normally before they were pretty easy to react to as well, but since CCU, like what is it, 66 ms of the dodge animation is cut off.
100 ms of the dodge animation.
100 ms. So 100 ms is the dodge startup. So basically, if they buffer an input, what you're seeing is just 400 ms of orange, which like doesn't give you any time to prepare. You either react to it or you don't. So we're gonna leave those out. From the slow bashes or legion kicks, since you have time to prepare for them, the reactability is like Span said, more about how well you can react to them. In particular, you're more used to a certain bash, and of course the animation. Some characters have big animations with a lot of movement, very defined, easier to react to than something like, for example, Zanhu Bash, which is just like nothing, just forward movement and orange.
My
I'm
game
gonna
is loaded now.
I'm gonna need to see the list, by the way, Span, so I can
Oh yeah.
know what I'm
Sorry.
talking about. So if we take them in order, the order of the list, Conqueror is out. We have Scent. Scent was the hero with the first ever 300 ms into a dodge kick. It's very defined. I don't know if it's the most defined or what, but it's definitely one of the easier ones to react to. It's, I think, the one bash that is the most delayable. Right, Span?
I think a lot of these actually have the same delay windows. So a lot of them have 300 to 500 ms delay windows, and I think that's the same for Sense, Glads, Griffins, Orochis. In fact, I think all of them have the same delay window. So it's 300 to 500 ms into the
Well,
bash.
let's see, animation. So we have Sense. Sense is a kick. You can see it. It's in the center of your screen. You shouldn't have much problem reacting to it because of the animation. Stag, your keyboard is making me want to punch my monitor.
Sorry.
We have
Um,
Glad. Glad's is just a punch, which is it's a bit harder to react to than Scent, but it's still in the middle of your screen, so you shouldn't have much problem with it. We skip Black Prior because it's a fast bash. Griffins is the same animation as Lawbringer Shove. This is probably on tier with Gladiators, just like a hand movement. You are gonna see it in the middle of your screen. Then we have Warlord. We take Warlord out. Orochi's is, well, uh, this is kind of 2 different things. One time, it's very easy to see because it's such a huge animation of him jumping up, like lifting his entire body. At the same time, it's IMO a really bad animation, so that can also mess with you. Since some people might struggle to see the kick because it's such a stupid animation, but it's on, I'd say, in like the middle between easy and hard. And then I don't see the list. Help.
all right, I know. I've moved it away. So the next one we've got on the list is Shigoki. Oh,
Okay. I've heard people struggle with Shigoki being on the harder side because it's just his dumbass head turning orange. It's his shoulders as well. It's also slightly higher up than where you see guard indicators. So if you're not used to it, it's also gonna add a bit of a challenge with that. I'd say it's definitely on the uh, harder side, but not crazy hard. Also, the animation is well, it's a big animation, but you don't see it as much because it's I'm gonna use the term a 2D
yeah.
the animation, it's him taking his head back and forward, which you don't see because you're looking at him.
It
From
means
the
like
front.
along the axis of movement.
Yes. So, people are gonna struggle with that one and are struggling. Shinobi's is, I'd say, the same as Orochi in terms of reactability of animation. It's like not the same animation, but borderline the same animation. Thing is, Shinobi does have a much better mix-up for the kick, but that one's also in like the middle of the tier list.
I sent you a link to the spreadsheets, call it, so you can. Actually, Orochi, you can't even get him to do the bash. So I'll just pick Kyojin.
And then we have
Kyojin?
Kyoshin. Kyoshin's is on the easier side. Okay, if we have it as a ratio from 0 being the worst and 100 being the best, it's like around the 40% mark. I hope that makes sense. It's the mix up after it is good, but he does not have any way to mix up from neutral. So a very slightly worse than average bash.
Yeah, and
then
if
we
you
have
said to do like this, you dodge the. I guess if you dodge the heavy, then he can actually chain to the mix up, and as long as you don't dodge attack, he can then go into. You can do his chain bash, and that will actually catch you. So it's kind of a mix up.
yeah,
but then
from neutral he doesn't really have anything.
Yeah, and
But,
obviously you can just dodge attack, and that will hit him out of either. Well, I guess you can cancel into a full block.
Zhang Jun's is, I'd say, harder than average, around the 60-65% mark, because it's lower than usual indicators on the screen, since it's also just his foot. The only thing that turns orange is his foot. It's small compared to a whole shield or like the entire character in Shinobi and Orochi's case. So people might struggle because of that. It's also a much more subtler animation with just like very little forward movement of his leg. You will struggle with this one. It's like, I'd say, like a 75. Then you have the last one, Janhu, which is probably the hardest out of the 300 ms into the dodge bashes, because it's sort of like Conqueror, where there's a lot of orange. The whole character turns orange, but there's no way of distinguishing it because there's no movement. It's just forward movement. So that one's really hard, and not to mention the dodge forward heavy, which is really, really good. And I will have counter argument to what Span said. I think Zanhu's mix up with the dodge forward heavy feint is better, a lot better than Shinobi's, because as of today, I do not know anyone that can 100% distinguish Zanhu's mix up.
I guess what you'll learn today is that with Janhu's mix up, you don't have to distinguish it. So this comes into another thing. There is, I can reveal it to you today. There is one timing where you can avoid everything that he can do off a forward dodge.
That's true.
Which means that it's no longer a mix up at all.
But to be honest, you're never gonna see anyone doing that consistently because sure, you might do it in a 1v1, you might do a backsend, but in the heat of a moment, especially in a 4v4 game, you're not gonna be able to.
This is true. Obviously, it's quite so the timing window, we'll get into that when we talk about the timings and tracking and stuff, is a much smaller, but it's a small window. I think it's like 66 ms into his forward dodge. Well, it's between 400 and 466 ms into his forward dodge that you can dodge, and it will avoid everything that Janhu can do off a forward dodge. So Blitz will tell you that Janhu's neutral offense is garbage, but Blitz obviously has very good reactions, but he's also got good enough reactions that he can then consistently react to the forward dodge and hit that one timing where it dodges everything. So that makes quite a big difference with these things, and it's like what we were talking about with Gladiator and these other and Shigoki, well, in particular Gladiator, who from his forward dodge, actually put Shigoki because he doesn't have anything. He won't actually do side dodges. I don't need to be able to react to the difference between an empty forward dodge and his forward dodge heavy because, well, I can just dodge when as early as I can. It's not going to track me, and because of if I dodge before 400 ms, he's not going to be able to dodge and then just guard break me. It will just whiff. That'll whiff. There's no threat to me from this forward dodge. The only thing that I have to make sure is I don't get baited into a dodge attack when he's not actually doing a dodge, when he's just doing a dodge into nothing. So because there's no option that he has from an early dodge that can catch me, then there's no real threat there. So that has quite a big impact on mix-up stuff. All right, let me go back to my sheet.
I guess since we talked about animation, I'll talk about animation of the 3 fast bashes ones as well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll bring those up.
Before this, I can see this spreadsheet. You can do whatever. But when did this sort of? It was when Griffin was around that they switched over to a meta of, or not a meta, but a common change to give to all heroes of for dodge bash 300 ms into the dodge.
Yeah.
Before we only had Cent, which was the only one, and then we had the 3 fast ones: BP, Warlord, and Conqueror.
Glad and also Lawbringer if we were going to joke about that, but
yeah, I guess, but but those weren't 400 ms animation. Indicator. Anyways, those ones, as from worst to best, it would be BP as the worst, with Conqueror as the second, and Warlord. Well, no, before it was BP worst, then Warlord second, and Conk being the best. This was because Conqueror, like I said, is like Zanhu, or Zanhu's like Conqueror, where the shield just turns orange. There's nothing, no animation to distinguish, and on top of that, he also has superior dodge, which makes first the shield goes from being itself to turning white because of the superior dodge, and then turning orange. So that one was the hardest for a while. After CCU, people started using different things to distinguish. I believe before it was just the unblockable the orange, not the unblockable indicator, just the orange. People now started using either the indicator or sort of reacting to animation, and Conqueror and Warlord switch places. And the reason that happened is because while Warlord has a large part of him turning orange, tip, if you hold your guard top, your shield blocks like 70% of your head, so you barely see the bash happening. Makes it much
so
harder.
if I change myself to Warlord, and then you'll see that. Yeah, I'll point that out.
In general, the part that's going to hit you
Yes, again.
is the part that's going to turn orange.
Yeah, so the part that's going to hit you, that is a bit of the glows orange. Yes. Sorry. Hello, Freeze. Sorry, I just repeated what you said, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Hello, please.
Good to have you here. So yeah, Normie is suggesting that when you play as Warlord, you stick your shield and top guard, then your shield is in front of your face, so that hides your head.
It's actually harder as a Warlord player to dodge bashes as well, because he's so damn huge that you cannot really see much.
Yeah.
And if you do want to be able to dodge nearly as well as you would with a hero with like a really small character model or something, you have to hold your guard on the left.
So you can see when he's
he holds his shield on top of his head. From the other person's perspective, he's just holding it in front of his face, so you're not going to see it.
I'm not sure if this will if I set this to. Actually, no, I probably can set it to do this. Look, if I set it to headbutt, it's going to be side to start off with.
Yeah, so there you can see like his entire head and shoulders just
If I set it to
turning
block, then when I throw a top attack, and now it will do the.
Yeah, now when he does the bash, the first 100 or so ms of it is obstructed by the actual orange is obstructed. You can still see the indicator.
Yeah,
but you cannot see the animation or the orange.
But if I set him to go on block this side now, you can see that's very clear because the shield doesn't get in front of his face at all, so it makes it a lot harder to.
You can also show the thing if you, as the Warlord, hold your guard on the right, it blocks big part of the enemy, so you're not going to be able to see very well.
Where are they? I know with Peacekeeper you can block the entire character with just doing this. Can't see them at all.
Yeah. Thankfully, Peacekeeper doesn't have a Bash 100 invest into it.
Yeah, it's true. All right, so we talked a little about reactability and mix-up potential. I guess the next thing we talk about is the damage and chain potential. So, well, most of these bashes confirm the amount of damage they confirm is fairly standard. It's sort of 12 damage as a light opener, or up to like 16 damage if you're playing a Janhu or JJ, because that can confirm your zone off it if you want to use all your stamina up, or you can do a just the light's 12 damage. Warlord does 15 damage. Then you have Shinobi also doing what's it doing? 14 damage.
19 with slip through.
Yeah, 19 with slip through. I mean, feats obviously that adds a lot of damage to all of them. So Centurion goes from being 13 to being 18, and Conqueror goes to being 18 as well, because Shield Basher does more damage than Haymaker. BP is 14. Griffin is always going to be 13, but then he has a strong mix-up afterwards. I guess we've kind of been talking about the mix-ups as we go along. Wards is 15, but doesn't get anything afterwards. If I go to Arena, change opponent, I can point at them whilst I'm doing it. So Shinobi's is 14, but then he has a very strong high damage mix-up afterwards. Kyoshin is low damage, only does 12, but then his mix-up afterwards is really good because he's got 15 damage or 30 damage, 15 damage bash or 13 damage undodgeable. JJ only does 12 damage, but has got a very strong unblockable mix-up afterwards. That's going to be, it's very hard to react to the faint animation of that. Goki's is very low damage, it's only 10, but then it chains into a very good mix-up, a pretty strong mix-up as well. His chain heavies are pretty good. So, and then I guess we've got things like what they can chain into on whiff. So I think that comes into the next section after this. If I pull my spreadsheet back up again, comes into recoveries and safety. So I guess we've talked about damage and chain potential is kind of boring to skim over. We've mentioned it quite a lot, but we'll talk about like recoveries and safety. So again, to do with chain potential, whether you can chain your attack, your dodge attack, your bash on miss is quite a big factor in how safe your bash is going to be. So, of these characters, none of the fast bashy boys, so Conk, BP, and Warlord, none of them can chain on miss. So, they're always going to be in their full recoveries if they miss their bash.
We missed something.
Oh, did we? Oh, what did we miss?
We missed George.
George doesn't have a dodge. He's got a neutral bash, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, isn't that on the same level, if not better?
Well, dodge bash.
I mean, he has a neutral bash.
Yeah, but it's 6 MS, right?
I mean, yeah, but you have Glads also, which also is being pre-dodged.
Well, I haven't really been talking about neutral bashes, but yes, there are. I mean, obviously there are other kinds of bashes. Like, technically Shaman's got a dodge bash as well. It's just, again, it's a bit.
Yeah,
I was trying to keep it to the 500 MS bashes because
Yeah.
otherwise we'll just talk about every character and why their particular orange move is better than the other ones. Like Tiandi and George and Glad all have neutral 600 MS bashes, although those are reactable at a much lower level than these dodge bashes. You have less of a warning that they're going to do them, but if you are aware of them, they're an easy reaction to make. And a character like Tiandi or George, they just have lights and a bash from neutral, and only one bash in particular. They're quite easy to deal with in terms of their neutral offense.
Would you count Lynn's like kicks? If you know what I'm talking about, like the kick, and then he goes into a sweep.
Those are again not really a dodge bash. They are like chain bash undodgeable mix-ups, and again, you've got more characters that have those.
You have to be in key, and it's a whole different.
Yeah, so it's not really going to be the same, exactly the same kind of thing as these dodge bashes themselves, which is kind of I'm trying to keep to that, but more than like bash undodgeable mix-ups. So yeah, maybe the accurate of like, the title is what makes your dodge bash good. So there we go. I rather title I titled my little whatchamacallit, slideshow as what makes a bash good, but we're already talking about. We're trying to keep it to dodge bashes today. So yes, what can they do on myths? This determines like whether or not they're in their full recovery, and a lot of the time, if they can't do anything on myths, so that's characters like Kyoshin, characters like Warmonger, Griffin. So I'm going to pick a Griffin one, and who else do we talk? Who else I can't do anything on myths? Well, the fast bashy boys. And actually, of all of the slower characters, the Legion kicks, most of them can chain on whiff. It's just Griffins and Kyoshins that can't, which is kind of unusual. And that obviously means that if you get a dodge on them, you can get a guard break if you dodge early enough. So I'll set this guy to counter guard break, and I can get a guard break that he can't do anything about. If I dodge much later, he can counter my guard break. So this means that like the risk reward of these mix-ups is significantly worse, and the same with Kyoshin as well. But essentially this relies on their recoveries. So they've got these very long. Actually, let's invite Normie now, and then we can demonstrate some more stuff, because the Shinobi stuff is kind of interesting to talk about this. So whether or not you can chain on whiff is quite a big deal. I'll go. Let me invite you, Normie.
Oh, I do want to mention something. I think that they do want to do the devs is that, or I don't know if they do, but this is what it looks like. The bashes that you can follow up after. This is speaking on reaction. If you reaction dodge the bashes that you cannot do anything after, you will not be able to guard break. They will have enough fast enough recovery to just counter guard break on reaction dodge. And so then it makes you read. You pre-dodge, and if you guard break, you get it. But if it's a bash that you can follow up after, you have to make another read whether or not they're gonna follow up to hit your guard break or not. So
yeah, exactly. So we'll load up. I'll go Orochi because he's got a dodge bash you can follow up from, and you will go Shinobi because Shinobi has a dodge bash that you can follow up from, but you. Maybe Orochi's not the best choice for me to do. Oh, whatever.
just do Griffin.
Oh no, I'll go
I
Janhu.
think
I'll go Janhu.
Yeah, I think so. Actually, can you go JJ? I want to show something. I don't know if it even works against me, but it should.
So Shinobi is a bit of a special case as a character who, because he can't chain into his regular attacks on whiff, whereas Jangjun and most of the characters, other than Kyoshin and Griffin, can chain onto their like whatever they get off the bash on whiff, and that means they can beat like dodge into guard break with those things. Centurion is a weird one. He can't chain into a light on whiff, but he can chain into his heavy on whiff, which is actually, I mean, it's kind of better because you can then feint that, and then whereas if I like go into do my kick into light, you're gonna try and dodge and guard break me. See, that beats that. A factor here is what you chain into afterwards, because if I chain into a light, it's going to beat the guard break. But if I chain into a heavy, it's a okay.
No, it doesn't.
You might have to go earlier in that case, just to pre-dodge
if
it.
I pre-dodge.
Oh, I'm an idiot. So if you pre-dodge and I chain to a heavy, you're still going to get a guard break, and that's the case for Janhu and JJ because both of them chain into their openers. Whereas if you're playing Orochi, he chains into his heavy finisher, so he can feint that. He can throw a heavy afterwards and feint it, and that will both allow him to like see if you're going for a parry, and then like, well, he can throw that and not get light parried. Whereas if I do this and if I want to make my bash safe and guard break, I have to throw a light attack, which means I'm going to get parried. If the guy knows what he's doing and is waiting for it. Whereas if I wanted to throw one that doesn't get parried, I'm gonna have to make it guard break vulnerable. So again, it's for this it's basically if he pre-dodges and doesn't want to go for a dodge attack, he gets to make a read. Do I get a light parry or do I get a guard break? And it's a read on both for both of us, whether or not he gets a light parry or he gets a guard break. Whereas Orochi, you won't necessarily get a guard break because if he follows up with a heavy attack, your guard break will bounce off his heavy attack and he can actually counter guard break you, or you can let his heavy fly and hit you. So it was the other thing, of course, you can punish almost all of these with dodge attacks, and Shinobi is the one exception to this rule. You cannot punish his bash with dodge attacks. So even though he can't follow up with an attack, he can flip it. And if I dodge and do I'll try and dodge and do a heavy. My dodge attack probably will catch you because it's slow.
It won't.
Oh really? Okay, go on then.
You can probably deflect it even if it's too late.
Oh wow! Even with the iPhones and that.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can delay it. So
Oh.
that's what you catch it. Pre-dodge.
Yeah,
Like,
if you. But then I can do that.
yeah, it's true. So like, this obviously this goes for any dodge attack that's not undodgeable. Shinobi can backflip it. Like here, I guess with JJ you get a sort of mix up because I can. If you do your kick and then I can feint. Oh, ha! Yeah. Well,
You
that
thought.
would have been hit by my dodge attack. So it's like.
I mean, it's inconsistent.
Well, if you do a.
Oh, so yeah, I can just do that.
Oh yeah, you can just do that. So this is the other factor with Orochi. Even though he can avoid your dodge attacks, with that, he can also just sit there and just block them. So the fact with any dodge bash that doesn't have a chain afterwards that doesn't chain on miss is going to be in the dodge bash's recovery. So we're moving on to the next point now, I guess, of this is not just what you can chain to, it's what the recoveries are afterwards. So these vary a lot between the different bashes, and there are a big range of recoveries that you have on these dodge bashes. Some of them have very, very low recovery, and Shinobi is an example of that. If I dodge his kick normally, even if I pre-dodge it, I'm basically not going to get a guard break. The recovery Shinobi has is 600 ms, so I have to fully dodge before he does anything, and obviously that's
predict the dodge forward, not even the dash.
Pretty much. I have to predict he's going to do a dodge forward, and if he's if I'm doing it on movement, he's going to catch me with just a neutral guard break, or of course delaying his doing double dodge kick into that. You can probably, if you're fast enough, you can probably even see that I do a dodge and then do your double dodge.
Well, you can no longer delay kick, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the delay window at the double dodge is only 100 ms, so it's
it's not the dodge that's the problem. You cannot delay kick.
Yeah, no, I said you can delay when you're doing a double dodge. You can delay the kick only by 100 ms into the double dodge.
What you said is the double dodge because they changed that.
So it's he can do double dodge and he does a kick either 300 or 400 ms into the double dodge. But yeah, you can't delay it to the maximum double dodge, which is I guess fine. Recoveries in general. So I'm gonna do a dodge into light attack on you, Normie, and you just do your regular kick. Oh, you don't have to flip. So you can see here, he's not only able to block it, he can actually parry my dodge into light. Whereas if he was to do the same thing from my bash, I'm not going to chain it. I can just about block it.
Okay, hold on. I just
Yeah. So I'm on guard's top already, so I'll switch guard's side to start off with. Okay. I can put my numbers sheet now. So we're going to talk a little about recoveries. Jiangjun has, I guess, pretty decent recoveries on his dodge bash. I will pull up the old spreadsheet on my end. I haven't got them written down. Great. So I don't know what they are. I thought I had measured them. Nope, I haven't. Okay. So for Jiangjun, I actually haven't got the values for his dodge recover for his bashes. We could do is Orochi. If we switch over to Orochi, then we do have the values for that. you could dodge into light attack on that, and that would hit Orochi. Whether he chains, whether he just sits there and does nothing, because Orochi's recoveries were, I think, I'm gonna say they are.
Orochi can actually GB if he doesn't follow up.
Yeah, his recoveries are 800, and if you dodge into my one, I don't think you can. If you like dodge and reaction,
Oh, if I dodge in reaction, no, you can.
or well, if you dodge later. Oh man, I'm bad today.
Only if I pre-dodge.
Okay, so yeah, so like an early dodge, you can get a guard
man.
break on it. Oh man, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't.
All right, so it's like harder than others, but Orochi was very easy. If you dodged his kick and he didn't follow up, you were going to get a guard break most of the time. Now with Jangjun, you can if you really early dodge it, but obviously not if he lets his attack go. So
There you go. That was like as early as you can.
that's about as early as you can. So I think it. I would say it's probably about 700 mess recovery. If I was to make a guess based on nothing, whereas Shinobi's is even lower than that. It's 600 mess recovery. So you just basically not going to be able to dodge and get a guard break on it at all. Orochi's was 800 MS, I think, and that is very easy to get a guard break on. Sense is, I want to say
700.
700, yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah. No, I think it's actually 800 as well. But of course, you can then chain to a heavy after that.
I mean, you cannot. I think you can guard break Orochi if you reaction dodge.
Oh, switch Orochi.
Like, I think is that bad. Orochi sucks, man.
Yeah. So like this is quite a big factor in how good these are going to end up being. If you can, the later you can dodge it and get a guard break, the worse it is, because obviously it makes me much more vulnerable.
Are you going Chiro or am I going Chiro?
Richie, you can. I'm not going to dodge you on reaction. So here we can do a little demonstration of sort of mix-ups from neutral as well. Orochi has his storm rush and kick mix-up, except that if you're speedy boy like Normie here, you can dodge the kick on reaction or distinguish that between the storm rush and the kick. It'll need some practice. Like even if you have fast reactions, you're not going to be able to do this kind of feat on just like without even trying. You're going to have to practice and learn what the animations are like. But we'll start off with that first. You can dodge my kick or storm rush on reaction.
I have so much time to delay my kick. Wait, what are we doing?
We're doing this. We're doing the. You're showing off how bad this is now. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm putting you on the spot for defending against your mix-up.
My defect. Hui. Actually, I can't do that. I think. Hold on. Do it again.
Yeah, I think you probably can. Yeah, this is a sort of special Shinobi thing.
Oh man. Okay. Oh, you're changing stance now as well.
Oh, there we go. All right,
That's really hard to do because you have to delay your double dodge while also having to react to the indicator and switch dodge directions. Cool. That's
You can show it later against another Shinobi.
Yeah,
that's
Do
really
the past kick or something.
yeah. So I mean, like, to be fair, this is a tricky.
yeah, but the actual just reaction to dodge also.
Yeah, so the actual reaction of this is not too hard to do. Normie's in the menu. That's why he's getting kicked. I can beat Normie when he's in the menu.
I hit my keyboard.
Yeah, this is like here we're talking about the difference between these what you can do on reaction and what you can't. I guess if we like another thing you can mention, we'll show what dodge recoveries mean with early dodging. So I'm going to do the kick. I'm going to mix up a kick between the kick and just a dodge into guard break essentially. And you can early dodge the kick essentially. So. Wow.
Extracting. Okay. If I try really hard and I react like within 150 ms of your dodge forward, mega delayed kick will hit.
Yeah, I guess that's because the
But nobody's gonna do that.
yeah. But you can see I'm only messing it up because I'm delaying the kick instead of I'm trying to do a dodge into guard break, and I'm messing that up because I'm sometimes doing a really delayed kick. Does he have a longer delay window on his kick than it feels longer than?
I'm just. This is just a thing that nobody's ever done before. Trying to react, just like I'm trying to react to your bash, but instead I'm trying to react to your dodge forward.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
If you react like, how much did you say it is? Like
With
200?
400 ms into my dodge, so you got 300 ms in my dodge to see it.
Yeah, so like within 300. I'm reacting like when I'm really focusing, I'm reacting say like 150 into it, so that's like a bit too fast. So I'm gonna get hit by delayed kick.
Yeah, as you can see, if you can dodge it early enough, and you're going to be able to beat feint to guard break. So, sorry, the forward dodge into guard break. So the next thing we've talked a bit about recoveries. So recovery values, you can go onto the info hub and see all of these to find all the ones we've measured to find which ones are going to be more or less vulnerable to different things. But it's useful to know if you based on the recovery values. If you've got like a low recovery, like Normie's character's got 600 ms recovery. Even if I early dodge it, I'm not going to be able to punish it with pretty much anything. Like dodge the guard break, if I just dodge and then
if you
do a
do
dodge
light,
attack, even
that's not if you reaction dodge, you won't be able to. But if you pre-dodge,
yeah, like if you pre-dodge it, you can. But if you early dodge and to guard break, well, punish it with that. But if you don't, there's no need to flip here. You can just.
I was gonna try to backflip and deflect your light.
Oh yeah, I don't think I can do that. I don't think I'll do it.
If you react, it might be possible.
I mean, I can't. So
Yeah, no,
I'll try and dodge it as late as possible if you want me to.
No, I think it's too fast. Maybe with a character like Griffin dodge attack or something.
Yeah, maybe. I'll try and delay it as maximum I can.
It's
do.
fine. It's fine. Doesn't matter.
Okay. So yeah, in general, like recoveries, if you've got good recoveries, then your bash is safer. If you can chain on whiff, your bash is safer. If you can recovery cancel into something like only Shinobi can do, your bash is going to be safer. So Shinobi can most of these bashes, in fact, pretty much all of them apart from Shinobi's, can be punished on reaction with a dodge attack. So if I do my dodge bash against you, you can pretty much punish it. Well, like with a late dodge, you can punish and do that, and that's going to hit me every time. And a lot of people will also pre-dodge when they see you dodging. It's still going to be a read, but they end up coming out with a dodge attack on late timing. Whereas, I mean, I've picked a bad example because Orochi's got an undodgeable dodge attack, but if I was playing Kyoshin, I wouldn't be able to punish Shinobi's bash because he can recovery cancel it into a flip. And also, he beats my early dodge guard break, and in general, the recoveries on Shinobi's bash are a little bit busted. He probably needs to have a longer recovery to block and a small window in which to do his flip.
You took the recovery off of his kick and gave him to the backflip, which has 900 years of recovery now.
Yeah, the backflip has, and it's 900 ms, but it can cancel into a dodge at 600 ms or an attack at 600 ms, so it's not like the worst recoveries. But yeah. Okay, so the next one we're going to go, I'm going to pick Zhanhu, and I'm going to teach Normie the timing which you can do, which can avoid all of Zhanhu's mix-ups from neutral, from his forward dodge attack. And it's not actually that late into the dodge, not that early into the dodge, so it's quite easy for, I think you'd be able to get this reaction down even on console. So maybe this will get changed, but we'll go into, I'm basically going to show this off, and then I will go into some pretty intense detail about why this is the case, because there's a bunch of reasons for it, and why each of these options is now no longer able to cover this single dodge timing. And then that's where we're going to go into the whole timings and windows measure, which I mentioned earlier. I've got some numbers to show you. Not complete numbers because I've not finished measuring them all, and probably not going to go into it too much because it's boring. But we're going to show off this off, and then we're going to explain why it's the case, essentially by looking at some frame data. So, Normie, the timing for this, I know I'm just going to give you a number, is 400 ms to 466 ms into the dodge. So it's a bit earlier than dodging on reaction, but it's not that much earlier than dodging reaction, and you should be able to avoid pretty much everything I do. So it'll probably take you a while to get the timing down, but we'll go at this a little bit and see what people think.
Well, I basically have it done already.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, well.
So, Jianhu, offense from neutral? Question mark.
Hey, Span. You tried you being him from neutral for jitter.
Bit of tragedy. Okay, so the timings for this are between 400 and 467 ms into my forward dodge, so it's about 300 ms reaction for Normie to do. If he dodges too early, then my very latest delayed bash will catch him. And if he dodges a little bit later than that, then a forward dodge guard break will catch him, or my forward dodge feint into that thing will catch him. But in between, there's a little window where he can dodge, which is immune to being dodge guard break. And I will now explain why this happens. Actually, because the first thing we should do, a quick demonstration before I get into the tricking of it. A big portion of why this happens is what we call tracking. Essentially, is how early you can dodge a bash and have it and actually avoid it. So we'll do it like a few, like normally can like dodge. I'm gonna do like a medium, a buffer dodge. You dodge it as early as you can and as late as you can, essentially. So the latest you can dodge a bash is always going to be 167 ms before it hits you, and that's seeing when it jerks around a lot like that. That's because Normie is dodging right at the very last moment, and his iframes are coming in. But if I now I'm gonna like try and delay it as max as possible, and you early dodge it as max as possible.
You're not delaying it enough. Nowhere near enough.
Yeah, I know. I'm not very good at doing these windows, to be honest. There we go. See, that's me. Right, there we go. So if you like really, really early dodge this bash, and I'm bad at doing delay windows, it sometimes might catch you.
Here, you just pre-dodge. Like as soon as you see the movement.
Yeah, oh yeah, so Shinobi's a good one to do it.
Or I can just do this,
Yeah. I mean, so the difference between Shinobi's dodge and Jianhu's dodge, as far as I can tell, is 133 milliseconds of tracking. So it's much, much harder to early dodge against Shinobi. The reason I was going to say you do it because I can switch over now to Zhang Jun, and Zhang Jun's another character where you can really, really see the difference on his tracking of his bash, which his bash has way, way better tracking than Jianhu's bash. Even though in many ways they're quite similar, we've like there's no single timing where you can dodge and avoid all of Zhang Jun's mix up from as it were all his bashes. So if you can react to it, he hasn't got nearly as much offense. If you can't react to JJ's bash, then actually in many ways his offense is actually better than Jianhu's because he doesn't have a single timing you can avoid everything with. Because if you dodge early, his bash is going to track you. If you dodge a little bit late, his early dodge will. If you dodge early, his late bash will track you. If you dodge late, his early bash will track you. One of those things. Yeah. we'll do the same thing we did with Janhu. See, I'm bad at delaying dodges, but even I can do this very consistently. I think this is pretty clear the difference in tracking here, right?
You do like a 100-degree turn.
Yeah, exactly. You like wee swing around sideways. Yeah, and that's why they call it tracking, because essentially the dodge, follows you around, tracks you. I'm now going to switch over to frame checking, and I should show you a little bit what it actually looks like to do these frame checks. So actually, first I'm going to go to the spreadsheet because I have got a bit of this written down already. So we've talked about the latest dodge time you can do is always the same. It's always just before impact when your iframes start. But the earliest you can dodge varies an awful lot depending on the move itself. So I will now open up my Vegas and I will show you what it looks like to actually do this frame checking stuff. It can be pretty boring to do, but I'm a nerd and I like doing these things. So, I'm going to show it off. This is what you will see if you're doing these kind of times. So basically what I've done here is I've recorded an absolute ass load of footage of me just being hit over and over again by... I've set the bot to turn its move cooldown off and just spam bashes against me. I'm dodging at is this showing up on the stream, by the way?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I'm trying to dodge early, try and dodge just early enough that it will hit me, or just early enough that it won't hit me. And then involves lining up a timer for the beginning of my dodge each time. And Freeze has done some frame checks before on the early dodge timings. But how did you measure them, Freeze? You went from the end of the bash, right?
That was still when we had the with stamina drain.
Oh,
So
okay.
I took that, subtracted 100 ms. That's when it was supposed to hit me, and then I measured the timing of when I dodged to that point.
Okay. So I've done it slightly differently. I've gone from the convention I've used on this slide here is, and the reason I haven't got all these aren't filled in is because I haven't actually managed to measure all of them yet, because it took me some time. I think what did I have a black pride being minus 33 ms, I think. But basically this is in terms of how when the bash happens, if the bash happens starts at time 0, when can you dodge? So with Shinobi, you can dodge at 0 ms into the bash. You can dodge between 0 ms into the bash or 333 into the bash, which is the latest timing, and then those are the times you can dodge. With Janhu, you can dodge up to 133 ms before the Janhu presses the bash button, and still avoid his bash. So we'll go now into the little frame checky bit here. I've annotated these, so I should be able to find them easier. Here is, I think, an example of a late dodge, I want to say. So I've started the timer at 0 from when my dodge starts. You can see the little stick emblem here. That's when that goes grey, that means your dodge has started. And then you can use that if you're recording any footage. If you're looking back at your own footage to see how did that hit me, this is what you can use to tell when this thing goes grey. And then I'm just stepping through it frame by frame until first frame of the bash indicator shows up, and then I have to take off. Okay, it's actually here because is it here? No, it's here. All right, 166 ms, and then because indicators are all hidden by 100 ms before they hit you, if you're from an opponent, I've taken off 100 ms from that, and I've got 66 ms. Is I dodged before it by 66 ms, and as you can see here, it hits me. So this is the earliest dodge, well, the latest dodge where it's still an early dodge here. Bonk. Then I checked a load more of these until I finally found one which was just I checked all these ones and a lot of these ones too. Finally found one here where if I hit go through it, dodge starts here. Doop, 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 doop. First frame of the bash appears at 133. Take off 100, that's 33 ms. And as you can see, this one, I do successfully dodge. So going back to our little list here, that gives Centurion as an early dodge timing of minus 33 ms. So basically, it's about frame checking these things is a little bit less straightforward than doing these doing regular frame check type of stuff, because you have to measure you have to get a lot of footage before you can see it all to find the right ones. But luckily it's not too bad because I can just record. From bots allow you to record qualities, and I hoped that I would get all of this data done before the stream today, but I didn't because I only had this idea fairly late into the day and then I had to have dinner. So sorry about that. But I will be finishing this off this evening and I will post it on the subreddit, and that will give you some hard numbers for the tracking data of the tracking of these bashes. So we can go through a few other ones because I measured a few. Like here, we was doing Griffin, and actually managed to get the two different timings very, very close together. So this one, again, starts at 0, doop, 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 doop. Bash indicator starts here. You can see by his stamina going down, even though the indicator itself hasn't actually appeared yet. Bash indicators fade in over 66 ms, so it's only going to be full sized here. But the stamina cost starts here, which is that's instantaneous. 100 minus this, that's 33 ms. So I dodged 33 ms before the bash started, and I'm still getting hit by it. The next one, I dodge slightly later. So, dodge starts here. Bash starts here. 100 ms before. So, basically times 0 because we're taking 100 ms off of these values for the lag compensation. And successful. So, we get a value of 0 ms. This is the same as Shinobi's kick. So Griffin's bash therefore has pretty good tracking. And you're not going to be able to dodge one timing. Well, actually, we'll get to that later. We're just going to go through a few of these because I measured a few of them. Again, we're talking. So we go up to Orochi here. This one here's at 232, and it misses. So 133 milliseconds into. I basically dodged 133 milliseconds early, and the kick is still whiffing. So pretty bad tracking there, which means if you're only using the bash, it's very easy to get early dodge timings on this. So you can dodge. You remember what I said earlier about the earliest you can dodge and not get a neutral guard break? Well, we'll do a little maths and show what that means in terms of tracking of these things. But here's the latest early dodge, I guess. Where I dodge too early. First indicator stamina happens at 266. And the bash hits me. So this is the window. It's minus 133 ms for Orochi. And I've done this for a few characters so far. Shigoki's is minus 100 ms. Griffin and Shinobi are both 0 ms. Shangjun is minus 133. I haven't yet found any where you have to dodge when the bash actually starts. After the bash starts, they have all been 0 ms as the lowest one. Black Prior, if I remember correctly, I think is minus 33 ms as well.
Yeah, we have these numbers, but they might be old. They kept tinkering with the Black Prior
The numbers
as
that
well.
I've got that I can find are all for the soft fame bashes. So
I did the other ones too.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
No, but these were from 2019.
Yeah, so it's
around that time. So it might have changed. I'm sure I did Conqueror and I did Black Prior. Warlord, I'm unsure. But as far as I remember, Warlords are worse than the other two. Conquerors, I think, was the best.
I think that was what originally was happened, and then they changed the early dodge windows to all be the same. I think.
Yeah, maybe.
So,
that might have been the thing. That I'm not remembering.
Yeah, so that is this is a factor when it comes to early dodge timing. Then the other thing we have is, I guess I've not put it down here because I didn't finish writing all these slides. Another thing about the tracking that you have to bear in mind is we're going to talk. I'm going to actually add this to the spreadsheet, to the slide, if I can. Also, I can write it down. Like writing a slide in the middle of it. Yeah, there we go. That's not what I wanted to do. New slide, there we go. So, so another factor you have to do is the forward dodge recovery. So this is pretty much standard for most characters have 600 ms of forward dodge recovery, but some of them have less. And I can actually show you that now with this, even in this spreadsheet, because I measured Warlords here. So here we're going to go from having a ward. Let me just grab one of these bits to copy. Let's see. And basically, what we're doing here is seeing how soon after doing a forward dodge can Warlord do a guard break. So it's always a bit like, it takes a bit of dialing in. You have to make sure you don't do a bash by accident. But I think, if I remember correctly, Warlords is 500 ms, which is slightly unusual. So got 0, that's when his widget disappears. Doop, 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 getting through the end of it. When does the stamina cost of doing a guard break happen? Here we go. 533. So if I measure enough of these, eventually I'll find one where it's exactly at 500 ms. But essentially, that's when the stamina cost of doing the here we got like a delayed headbutt. We'll go back to here and probably eventually find a 500 ms one. I'm not going to bother going through all of them, but this looks pretty promising here. It's normally not too hard to find them. Oh, actually, there we go. 566 ms. So we've got one frame where my stick comes back. So that means I'm out of the dodge. And so actually, maybe his dodge recovery is for 533 in that case, which is kind of unusual. But it means that when the earliest he can do a dodge. The reason why this is important is because it makes when you're mixing up between a bash and just a bash and a guard break itself, you have the dodge recovery. And you have to add in the speed of the guard break as well. So for something like a 600 ms dodge character, you've got 600 ms of dodge, guard break recovery is 400 ms. That means your guard break's going to hit at 1000 ms. Your opponent can dodge, has their opponent's side dodge recovery is always 600 ms, 633 ms rather. And then so if they take off 100 ms, have you minus 100 ms from 630 ms. 1000 minus 623. Well, that is 366 ms. That's the earliest they can dodge. If you dodge at this frame, your guard break is going to hit them. If they dodge at 366 into your forward dodge, your guard break is going to hit them just as they exit their side dodge recovery, and they're not going to be able to be guard broken. So this is what determines how quickly you can guard break an opponent, and like how soon into your dodge can they do so. I'm going to open up a different one of these quickly. I'll move this up so you're seeing all my files. Great. I'm not doing a good job of that, am I? Changing forward dodge mixer. So this is the one where I've got the on this topic, so we've got Warlord with his 533 ms recovery. Well, then that gives us a 533 plus 400 ms. 400 ms is giving us a 933 window. Then if we take off the 933 minus 633 of the side dodge recovery, this is a 300 ms window, which means if you're early dodging, so that means 300 ms into Warlord's dodge. If you dodge before then, he won't get a guard break on you. But that's really quite hard reaction to do. That means if you're seeing his dodge, you got 100 ms of lag compensation. You have the dodge within 200 ms of seeing Warlord, and he's not going to get a guard break on you. It's a lot harder to do than this one. So if you're looking at Conqueror and Warlord, their ability to mix up between their bash and just an empty dodge bash, an empty dodge into guard break, Conqueror is going to be much worse than Warlord because you can dodge a lot later into Conqueror's dodge and avoid a dodge into guard break. What's this? Lol. Yeah. Okay. Doesn't matter. So Jianhu, I'm gonna see some weird things with Jianhu. So now we are. So as you recall, there was a timing earlier where Jianhu couldn't, where you could dodge Jianhu's bash and you could dodge Jianhu and it would avoid all things he can do. Well, that's for a number of reasons. Sorry, I'm cat's being right there. Sorry about that. Okay. Jianhu, I've actually got some of these timings down here. Doop. Here I'm measuring when my okay, this is just when my bash starts. And this is an early dodge. Actually, what is this doing? What am I measuring here? Okay, so I don't even know what I'm measuring there. Trying to find the early dodge. I know I had some of these down. So I haven't annotated these things as much. Okay, here we go. 3 to 3. Just doing the different dodge timings of Jianhu's bash. This bit. Here we go. All right, so Jianhu's recovery, forward dodge recovery. This is the latest he can do his bash, is 500 ms into his bash. 500 ms into the dodge, rather. I'm really not very good at doing words today, am I? Here we have, I think... No, that's also bash. Also bash. One of these is an empty dodge into guard break. Here we go. Okay, so Jianhu's empty dodge into guard break happens at 700 ms. So he's got a 700 ms recovery to guard break. So if we go back to this timing here, what is the earliest you can dodge a character with a 700 ms dodge recovery? The earliest you can dodge him is going to be 700 ms plus 400. 400, and that's going to be 1100 ms. And then we're going to take off from that 633. Which means you can dodge him up to 466 ms into his dodge. And then if you dodge before this timing, you will be dodging early enough that he can do his forward dodge into guard break, and that will not catch you. Going back to the other things that Jianhu has, he's got... I guess I'm just going to... Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll copy this slide. Make a new slide here. Why one timing? Okay, so we know that if he does an empty dodge into GB, that gives you... that's going to hit at 1100, gives you a 466 ms beforehand. Any dodges below 466 ms are going to be avoided. We're going to go back to the early dodge windows for his bash. It's minus 133 ms. So the latest he can do hit like... Yeah. If he does his latest bash, it's going to be 500 ms into a dodge, plus 500 ms for the bash, and then the earliest you can dodge is 500 ms is when it starts. The earliest you can dodge from that is minus 133 ms, which is going to give you like 366 ms. So if you dodge before 360 ms, you're going to get hit. So you need to dodge after 360 ms in order to not get hit by his latest bash, his early tracking. So this is basically what's giving you the window. The other thing is his forward dodge heavy. So for some reason, we thought his forward dodge heavy used to come out at 200 ms into the dodge, but actually it doesn't. For some reason, it comes out at 300 ms into the dodge. So this has been like some undocumented change of his on his forward dodge heavy, but there. This is when his dodge starts. This is a buffered forward dodge heavy, and it starts at, well, 333, so it wasn't quite buffered, right? So let's work out the timings for this. We'll go back to the spreadsheet here. Oh, we're doing maths on stream. If you're not, you know that you're a real For Honor nerd if you're watching right now. And thank you very much to everybody who is sticking it here. So forward dodge, heavy into a feint GB. So what time is this set at? Okay, well, we've got 300 ms of the dodge, plus his dodge attack is 700 ms before you feint it, so it's going to be 700 ms, minus the feint timing of 400 ms, that's going to be 300 ms. 300, then you have a feint recovery window is 200 ms before you can do an attack, and then 300 ms after that, so that gives you, 1,100 ms, the same as his empty dodge to GB.
You do the thing that teachers do on the chalkboard. They just erase it and then correct it, and the pupils can't follow.
Yeah. Am I? Well, yeah. I guess so. Well,
I'm
somewhat ad hoc. Yeah, oh, sorry, but you heard about the cat yelling in the background. That's Noodles. That's what she's like. So as you know, 1,100 ms. That's going to give you a timing of lower than 466 ms. 4666 ms. There we go. So this basically gives us, these are the things that he can do. An early, I guess we can cover an early dodge, the latest you can dodge an early bash is going to be the startup is 300 ms into the dodge, then it's plus 333 ms plus a 500 ms bash, minus 167, which is the iframe startup, is going to be 633 ms because you have 300 plus 333. So that's the latest you can dodge an early bash. So below that, essentially. As you can see, this gives you a window in between 336 SMS or 400 if you don't dodge on exactly the same frame, and this one. And this is going to give you a window where you can dodge and avoid everything that he can do. So this did not use... I don't think people realize this was the case for a while. I don't know when his forward dodge recovery got changed to do it to 700 ms. So we go back to this one here. I'm gonna put this here because when we first had the frame check done, when we first saw these frame check of it had 600 ms in the info hub. So at some point it's changed to be 700 ms. And if his forward dodge recovery was 600 ms, then this would be 366 below 366, which means it would be after you'd have to dodge before the latest window you can dodge his latest bash. Oh, that makes no sense, but so then you wouldn't be able to dodge later than 366 and earlier than 366 at the same time. So his mix-up would work. Whereas if you are or if his bash came out a little bit later, so if it had better tracking, if this was only minus 33 instead, then this would end up being 466 ms. So you'd have to dodge less than that, which means this would currently catch. So if he had the same tracking as Centurion's bash, you couldn't dodge. There's no one timing you could dodge to avoid the latest bash and also avoid the empty dodge to guard break. But currently it's 100, so this is this. Same with the forward dodge heavy. The forward dodge heavy started 100 ms earlier. This would be 100 ms less, and it wouldn't cover everything. So if we want to, we can, to demonstrate this, we can cover. Give me your steel. No, my steel is mine. Have we got this up on somewhere? My version of the stream has just lagged out, so I can't see if I actually am. Good. Okay. Let's look at Griffin in that case. So Griffin has a 600 ms dodge recovery. So if we do empty dodge GB, that we've got 600 ms recovery plus 400 ms dodge, and then we know we've got to have minus the 633 ms of your side dodge recovery. Gives you an earliest timing, as we know beforehand, 466. You dodge before then, you avoid a forward dodge guard break, but his latest bash starts at 500 ms into his dodge, and it can be avoided by if you dodge it before it starts, so 0 ms. Well, that gives you a earlier timing than 500 ms. So you know that you can't dodge earlier than his latest. You can't dodge early enough to avoid just an empty dodge into guard break, and also be dodging late enough to dodge his latest bash. So Griffin, if his bash was actually unreactable and you weren't able to react to it, this is a mix-up. There's no one timing that you can dodge Griffin's forward dodge finger quotes mix-up. And yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to cover with the. We go to this slide. We covered tracking the timings. Last few things. We've got range, hit stun, and other properties. So let's go back to the. Is Normie still with us?
I am here.
All right, awesome. Now I'm going to ask you which one of these, which of these bashes have the best range? Would you say?
Out of all of them.
Yeah. Or like, are there any that have particularly bad range that are really bad in team fights?
All of them again. Okay, let me see. So best range. I mean, I guess we have Shinobi because you can double dodge into it.
Yeah, we'll just try just the one.
But single dodge best range would probably be Kyoshin.
Okay. And who do you think is the worst range? Griffin
Griffin.
or Goki?
I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna take the 100 ms.
No. Yeah. You take you go Shinobi, and I'll go the low range one.
Go Griffin.
Go Griffin. Okay, I'll go Griffin. So look at this beautiful Griffin. I'm glad you like it. Oh, I'm flattered. I spent so much time getting the. I had to play him all the way up to Rep 8 to get that. So very much gold. Always believe in yourself. I'm sorry. So range is something that I have not got any hard numbers for, because it's really, really hard to measure range in this game. But there are differences. So I mean, I guess what we can do is I'll stand over here, and Normie can see like how many these variations, how many he can go along and still be able to hit me.
We can measure this by counting the slabs on the ground. There's
Yeah, that's what I meant.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh wait, no.
Yeah, we just start off with the big ones. These are about 50 centimeters each.
So if I do double dodge, I can hit you from here as well.
Yeah, but just do a single dodge. We're just talking about singles.
Single dodge, I think I'll have to be here. Yes. And let me try here. Okay.
And you're buffering it here, right?
No, I was delaying.
Oh, okay, try and just do it buffered because we're trying to avoid as much of the forward dodge component. Of course, like how far your forward dodge goes is also a big factor, which is why I thought about bringing Shigoki because he has a very low range forward dodges.
Okay, so if I go.
But basically, this is why we haven't got like hard numbers for the range of these attacks because it's a massive pain in the ass to measure.
Yeah, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need to sit on the 6th slab. If I go on the 7th, it no longer hits.
All right.
But if I go on this one, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, range is one of these things you can't. There's no way. Unfortunately, you can't. There's no way you can go to look up. But if I go from the same place you did, which was what here, this is the 7th one.
Yeah.
That misses. So that was the same slab. Am I on the same slab as you?
Yeah, you're in the right one.
All right. So I'm here. I delayed a bit then. Yeah, maybe his dodge isn't the worst. But you can see it's not going quite as far. If I was to pick Goki, I think Goki would go even less far. like here. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That,
When it hits, it zooms. When it doesn't hit, it doesn't go anywhere.
yeah, I mean that is a part something that happens with a lot of Front attacks. That if they're in range, they will hit you, and if they're not in range, they'll look like they miss you by 1.5 miles. And that's because attacks basically, well, and this is also what we call tracking as well, so it's a little bit confusing to call that tracking and earliest dodge timing, but it's what a lot basically if an attack is going to hit you, it will track towards you, and they can do forward tracking as well as sideways tracking essentially. So that's why you get sometimes it like looks like you're flying a long way to miss. But let's go. I'll pick Goki this time, and you pick a different character. Like a Orochi's got very. Oh, you said Kyoshin's got a very good long range one.
Yeah, Kyoshin has a lot of range. If you
Okay.
delay it, if you don't delay it, then it's like mediocre.
Yeah, this is why I haven't got like hard numbers of this, because doing this kind of stuff consistently, you can't do it with the bot either. And I'm the kind of person who sits in an arena for ages and ages doing this kind of weird shit, because I like numbers. But oh, the front of raid police is on. I need this steel in order to buy cosmetics for characters that come out, and then like I can look good in frame check videos, which is like the only thing. I don't look good in real life, so you know I've got to look good in for frame checks, right? But what impacts would you say normally does range have in terms of how good a bash is going to be?
Well, to be honest, not much. Like, for example, Kyoshin's bash is not offense at all. It's never used as offense by anyone against anyone. It's a confirm tool. To confirm attacks, do ganks with it. That's about it. But it doesn't. It's not really offense from neutral. I mean,
Yeah, but
same
it's
with
still.
Goki kinda. So Goki's more defense, but the
But
forward.
would you say that the range is still useful? I mean, not necessarily in 1v1 offense, but in useful in team fights.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but I feel like average range is as good, just as good as having some super good range. So you don't need this sort of range of going from infinity to you right in front of you. It might have the same tracking as the Shinobi one.
Yeah, might do.
No, it is a bit more. It is a bit more
Yeah, that's a bit more. Yeah,
because I can sit on the like beginning of
on
the
the
slab,
line. Yeah, yeah.
and if I delay, I think I can hit you from the last one as well.
Oh yeah. So the more you delay, the longer more of your forward dodge you get, the longer it's going to go. Yeah, damn, that goes a long ass way. So I think that's useful for doing like longish range confirms for your friends. Like if you're ganking against a raider and they're trying to side dodge away from you, you can't really side dodge away from a bash, like you can't early dodge and side dodge away from a bash like Kyoshin's because it goes such a
I mean, you
long way.
can.
Well, you have to wireframe it, so
The reason this is like what this is used for the most is when two people say are 1v1ing somewhere on a point.
go on, stick yourself on the corner so I can show the Goki's range.
Oh yeah, when you're in a fight, a 1v1, and your teammate comes as the Kyoshin, and you can initiate the gang super fast.
That was from the place that this is from where Griffins used to track. Nothing. Go one. This is one further. There we go. Okay, so this is like here. It's almost half the range of, slightly less than half the range, or slightly more than half the range of Kyoshin's there. Look behind it. Nothing. So this makes. I mean, I think it does. I think it makes more of a difference than you maybe think. Like I don't know. I thought it made quite a big difference in team fights in terms of like how far you can, what your sphere of influence is in a team fight.
I mean, yeah, it could be, but it's not because you're in a team fight, which means you're also gonna eat 100 damage for doing that bash. So
Fair enough. So it depends your sphere of influence of ganking in that case.
yeah, I mean, it influences everything. It's just that it doesn't influence it much.
Fair enough. Okay,
Like
so
the things specifics like animation, speed, stuff like that will only matter in a 1v1.
yeah, but the range is not necessarily a factor in the 1v1s as much as it is a factor in force and team fights. unless you've got a character that's got very good range and also good offense. So would you say like Shinobi's having good range is quite a good thing because he can make space easily and exploit that
range
range?
is good in 1v1 because it means you don't have to spend that extra half a second, maybe 1 second of getting close to actually be in range. Like for example, with Shinobi's mix of being dodge forward heavy and dodge forward kick, he can do it from wherever.
Yeah,
You
so
don't
like
need to get
if you're
close.
there, like we're right now, like I mean, even if I was playing, even if you couldn't dodge Shigoki's headbutts on reaction, I'm still not going to be able to hit you with them from this range. So like here, even if they, I think if they are neutral, if they were actually like good offense from neutral, then it does make a difference because character can outrange mine. Like even if I like fully delay a headbutt from here, I'm not going to be able to touch you with it. Whereas if you know against me, and let's say you can mix me up with a fully delayed dodge kick or a fully delayed dodge into guard break from there, then you can touch me. Whereas like there we go. Like
I mean, I can even just do more and do this.
yeah, that also works as well. So like it means from. I mean that would lose to
Sit right there. Sit right there.
without losing
See
that,
the
right?
range on this?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the range on this delayed is stupid. Like that would have hit you.
Yeah. I
Better hit
won't.
you.
Yeah. So that does make. I think that does make a difference in 1v1s in terms of like if you have to roll away to get out of a mix up, like then I back dodge right, and then you could hit me with your bash would
Well, yeah,
well
but I was in range.
actually range itself. If I side dodged it, then I'm not gonna be able to dodge that bash. So I think it does make a bit of a difference. It's just that at the moment, a lot of these bashes themselves aren't like super good offense at the highest of levels. What speed would you say they'd have to come down to in order to be actually good offense at top level?
What bashes?
Yeah.
I mean, like, right now, we're talking 500 MS ones, right?
Yeah.
Like
The Legion kicks.
400, I guess. Or the
400,
Legion kicks. I mean, no, Legion kicks would just have to be able to be done 100 MS into a dodge. And that would make them not stupid offense like Shinobi.
I think the difference is that would make them be difficult for people. I think the reason they've gone for the 300 ms into the input windows is pardon me. And the reason they've gone for that is because it's kind of fair, I can see you doing if you forward dodge from there, I can see you doing a forward dodge and I can make a read on whether you're going to bash or not.
Yeah, but at the same time, it also just gives me even more time to just prepare and react.
Yeah, so it makes it harder to. Well, I agree. So it's but then what you need to do really is find a sort of middle ground where the bash itself is unreactable, even at 5. I think like with Zhanhu, they did a good job with the dodge heavy. So maybe if Goki's dodge heavy were feintable, for example, do you think that would then make it a mix up between that and his headbutt?
Yeah, I mean, you can also do what Orochi had, which is you can just block top, but then he goes into his offense. So Shigoki could have the same thing of make it undodgeable. They have to block it, and then you
Yeah, but then like would feintable better? Like
I mean, yeah, faintable would probably be better. I mean, it depends how late the feint is.
Well, if it's I guess we've looked at these dodge timings. If it comes out, it depends on the tracking, doesn't it? So we like depends on the bash how good the tracking is, what time the dodge attack comes out. So Zhanhu's, as we know, is good enough to be unreactable, but problem it has is that there's a single time where it can avoid everything, and we'd need any more feintable forward dodge heavies would need to have a timing where they can't cover everything. And Shinobi's does a really good job of that because Shinobi's pardon me, Shinobi's forward dodge heavy comes out really early into the dodge, and it's feintable early as well. Well, feintable is the normal timing; it's a fast attack, so it's feintable. It covers the same thing, and his bash has really good tracking, so you can't early dodge, avoid the feint to guard break, and also avoid the kick itself. So that's the kind of thing that we need, and it needs to be distinct enough to be unreactable. As you said, like Shinobi's is pretty good, right?
Yeah, Shinobi's probably best right now in terms of design.
Yeah, would you say that? Well, other than the punishability thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's problems like Shinobi's being really easy to distinguish regardless.
Yeah, it's such a
Like
big move.
if Zanhu's one wasn't stupid funny dodge timing, then it would be the best one.
Yeah.
In terms of
Okay.
design.
All right. So what we really want in that case, ideally, is for maybe they them to get like a generalized patch and turn all these 4 dodge heavies that are unfaintable into faintable ones, and then all of these because a lot of them have these 4 dodge heavies that are faintable and come out at the right timing, so they could actually mix up with the 4 dodge heavy into guard break, but because they're not faintable, you can early dodge and avoid both of them. So if they made like Goki's 4 dodge heavy faintable, if they made Kyoshin's 4 dodge heavy faintable, they made the Janhu JJs and Griffins and Sense even, then those would all work. Even because Sense 4 dodge heavy has a really big animation as well, so I imagine that would be quite difficult to tell from the kick, because he jumps in the air for both of them, right? And just whether he follows up with a kick or
okay,
stab.
Since Ego's talent, you literally go like off of the screen into the top, so no, that's gonna be like super easy to distinguish.
Oh no, if we change over to his well, we'll do a quick experiment here, right? You have to dodge the kick on I'll go Scent. You dodge the kick on reaction and parry the dodge heavy on reaction. Well, I mean that's easy enough to do, but like, and that will be that'll be basically distinguishing the 4 dodge kick from the 4 dodge heavy on
you can
reaction.
do Shinobi. What do we do, Sent?
Oh, we're just doing a thought experiment here to see if they made it so Centurions. Oh, I've lost you.
Have you? Yeah, you have failed to join session.
Yeah, I'm trying to jump out of that.
I'm just saying that if Shinobi's is really easy to distinguish with animation that isn't exaggerated, then this is not gonna be.
Yeah, but Centurion's heavy animation is very different to the kick, right?
Yeah, which is exactly why it's gonna be easier to tell.
Yeah, but Centurion's 4 dodge heavy is very similar to the kick.
No, it's not at all.
Then he jumps up in the air. He doesn't put his leg forward.
No, the kick just goes forward. The jump jumps.
Okay, well, we'll see. I thought they're quite close personally, but then maybe that's just me. Obviously, it's the difference is the difference at the beginning of it, isn't it? Not the end of the animation. All right, try again. Well, are you in the lobby this time?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, I'm gonna go with Sad Centurion. So we're gonna do it like
wrap up.
oh, very clean, Kyoshin.
Thank you. We have 2 minutes left, sir.
Oh, 2 minutes left. Oh, crikey! Yeah, wow, amazing how long it goes when I am blabbering and haven't organised myself to be speedy with things. Oh well. Thank you very much for sticking around. I hope you all enjoyed it. Yeah, we'll end this as a quick session. This quick thing. Well, yeah, see if you can distinguish. You've got to dodge the kick on reaction and parry the heavy dodge attack on reaction as well.
Oh god, I haven't fought a Cent in a year.
At least it shows how much practice is actually needed to do it.
Yeah, I mean, without practice, you're not gonna do shit. Whoa!
Oh, yeah, it's true. I mean, all these things are practice. I just feel like this move feels like it has a bit of similar kind of animation, at least at the start of it, with the
This
kick.
dodge is so distinct. You know, he I don't know, like a spring. He crouches down first and then jumps. It's a little weird. Nobody jumps like that.
Right? Work
Maybe a little kid.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was focusing there for like a bit, and you can do anything.
Yeah.
Like,
By the way, everything you've learned today, you can all apply that to Conqueror when the rework comes out, because he's going to be a little special as well.
Yeah,
a little special, you say.
I mean, the bash is going to be worse, much worse than it is now.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good because he still won't have an animation for it.
Yeah, curious whether you can still hide that one. But yeah, there's also nothing he can mix it up with, except like an empty dodge to do.
Yeah, so it's going to be an empty dodge, right? It will depend on how good his tracking is and how easy it is to react to.
But yeah, same principles apply.
I think maybe if sense heavy was faintable, it would be better. It would certainly be better, right? It wouldn't maybe not
I
be.
mean, yeah, it would be better, definitely. It's just that
Yeah.
it won't be like anywhere near Zanhu.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, maybe there's something else they can do instead. Maybe they make
I mean,
theirs
it's
heavy.
just animation tied because the animation is so much different. Like it's the same with this. Like for example, Yoshin has the same thing. Like everybody is gonna fall for this heavy, but nobody's gonna fall for this heavy. Because hold on, let me put my stuff off.
Difference between heavy and
Because
light.
with this one, you just do the heavy, and this one you do a spin, which is also
Yeah.
the same spin you do for the bash.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see.
That's why
Okay, that's pretty cool.
these two are not gonna hit nearly as much.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff when it comes to distinguishing animations and things, they're things that I, myself have very difficult to be able to really have anything to say about it because, I don't have fast reactions at all, so it's very hard for me to say. I don't know. I thought the kick and the heavy might look similar enough at the start. So if it was sped up, maybe if they change it like how Aramusha's forward dodge heavy, they got rid of like he didn't leap quite as high.
I mean,
They
yeah,
made
but they
it
made
lower
it
to the
super
ground.
slow.
Pardon?
They made it stupid slow.
Forward dodge heavy, I think it was the same speed, wasn't it?
No, they slowed it down.
Oh,
It was really
okay.
fast before. It was like
Oh.
700, not 700, but like fast.
Oh, okay, 600 or something. Okay, so it's 700 currently, I think. Anyway, all right. I think that is. Oh, there was one other thing we had, which was other, which I was really just gonna. Oh, actually, no. There's two other things. One of them will be go into the. I will go back into Vegas and show you quickly the differences between these two things because I know two moves where there is a big difference. So first off, gonna have Goki here. Where have I got? I think I've frame checked some Goki stuff. This right. Right, here we go. Here's Goki. So there's one last thing which is important for when it comes to ganking, essentially. And Shinobi's kick is an interesting example of this. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about here, this is the hit stun of the bash. So I'm going from the frame it hit me to when I can do things again. And again, I can tell this by when my guard, the little guard widget, pops up again. Here we go. Here's the difference. 666. I'd be able to dodge with the frame after that. So I'd be able to dodge here. So 666. Again, normally if I was doing these frame checking, I'd check the actual timings, like exactly when I can do a thing again after being hit by the bash. So if you're confirming an ally heavy off a bash like this, hit stun has quite a big impact. Whereas if we go to, if I drag in the file for Shinobi's kick, which is, I think, this one, here we go, and do the same thing, find one that hits me. There we go. At least, this is the first time I've checked this since his rework, so we'll find out together what this number is going to be. If I recall, it used to be a very, very long time. And oh wow, it's even longer than mine. Even longer than my timer. Oh, so I buffed the dodge. There we go. All right, so 100 ms before my dodge guard. I basically spam dodge here. So there you go. If I dodge dots here, 1-1-1 we're looking at. So we're looking at a difference here of Shinobi's hit stun from his kick being a full 500 milliseconds longer than Headbutt's hit stun. So in terms of landing heavy attacks from your allies, Shinobi's forward dodge kick is much better, considerably better than forward dodge than Goki's headbutt, for example, because the window you've got to land it is much later. If you were ganking with, I'm just gonna if you were ganking with Shigoki and with Shinobi could do a forward dodge kick. You could like start charging up. Shinobi could do a forward dodge kick, and you could start charging up your fully charged heavy when your ally says, "I'm kicking now," and your fully charged heavy would be confirmed off the Shinobi's kick. Whereas if the Shinobi was trying to confirm your heavy, if you were trying to confirm the Shinobi's heavy, you would be able to. He would have to be very fast, seeing your headbutt is starting in order to actually land a heavy. So it makes a bit of a difference. And characters like Nabushi's, for example, her kick has a very, very long hit stun. And if you've got different animations, like the kick's animation is quite significant, so then it lasts a little bit longer. Jianhu's kick has a weird kind of like you stagger around a bit. I think this is Jianhu. Jianhu. Jiangjun. I can never say those characters' names differently.
I mean, JJ resets hit stun completely.
Oh, does it? Oh, that's quite interesting.
Yes, completely.
But like, if you go, I mean, if I were to land, here it goes, land a heavy here. When I get my guard back to move my guard, see, I tried to move it there and didn't manage to. Oh, great! I dodged backwards instead of sideways, so I can't actually tell. Great. So if I was doing this, I'd normally do it with a reflex guard character, with a static guard character, because I wouldn't have to worry about. I'd just see my guard coming back up, rather than not having it come back up, because. It's up here. When I dodge, I think I do buffer a dodge here. Right, there we go. So 866 MS is when my. So it's not quite as long as Shinobi's, but it's longer than Goki's, for example. And this is another one of these values that is different for every single bash, and has some impact on setting up ganks. So yeah, is that all I had in my list of things? Other properties. What other properties are there?
I mean, that we talked. It's just resetting hit stun, and that's mostly it, really.
Yeah, well, I was probably going to include stuff like just overall moveset stuff, like ganking things. Like Shinobi's is particularly good because you can, after it lands, you can confirm pinning moves off your allies doing things for you. Whereas if you're, so that allows you to make that Shinobi's kick is going to be better than Kyoshin. Actually, no, Kyoshin can go into pinning move as well, can't he? Than Griffin's bash, for example, because even if they had exactly the same properties everywhere else, Griffin's mix-up after his bash lands is going to be a different kind of mix-up to you won't have a pinning thing that you can do afterwards, so it won't be quite as good in terms of ganking, right?
Spinette, sorry if I interrupt you, but we're now 2 hours in, so if you could keep the rest short, please, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, that's all right. I was at the end of my list. That's all I really wanted to mention in terms of other things that make a bash good are like other stuff you can do with them. So ganking, things like Orochi's kick can be good because you can dodge cancel the recovery of it on hit, so you can use it. You can chain it together very, very quickly, so you can do triple bash ganks with it. Shinobi's is similar as well, because you can backflip into flip kick and do triple bash ganks. Who else have we got here? Shigoki's bash does direct damage, so it can kill someone who's holding revenge. That's really useful. Gladiator's Bash doesn't do anything unless it has the feet on it, in which case it also does direct damage and does get Centurion. He can gank off his stuff like Conqueror. He can cancel the recovery of it, a hit recovery of it, into his full block, so it's safer in team fights. You can't get peeled against it nearly as easily. Kyoshin, can Kyoshin cancel his hit recovery into it?
No.
No, he has to chain into something and then he can cancel it. But he can do a crushing counter on hit, right, can't he?
Yes.
So Kyoshin and Warlord and Black Prior, if you wait, I guess, can do an opener light afterwards that has crushing counter properties, so they can sort of counter peel that way. Shigoki has a hyper armor follow up, similar kind of thing. He bashes and then he turns around, hits you with a hyper armor heavy if you're trying to go for him. I think that's Orochi had stuff, and he can dodge cancel on hits, so that allows him to hit and then deflect somebody trying to peel him. That's it, really. I think I haven't got anything else I can think of. Anything else? Got anything else to think of? Freeze, Normie?
No. It doesn't matter. Keep it for next time, anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Well, thank you very much, everybody who stayed and watched, and enjoy. I hope you all enjoyed my maths. I know, you really got to love a video game if you stay to look at a slide like this and be like, oh, you know what I really want to do? I want to watch some nerd give a fucking PowerPoint presentation about a hit dodge timings in a video game. Wow. So I'm big props to you guys for being awesome enough to stick around and watch and listen to my boring old voice. Thanks so much, Normie, for helping demonstrate things. Thank you, Stag, for streaming. Thanks, Freeze, for coming along and giving your wisdom as well. I think that's it from me. All right.
That's good.
Goodbye. Have a wonderful. We probably won't be doing one next week because it's Christmas. Well, next Saturday is Christmas Day, so we won't be doing a dojo on Christmas Day. At least I won't be doing a dojo on Christmas Day. If,
Yeah, neither will I.
Yeah.
We're on Christmas Day stream.
Yeah, Christmas Day stream. Woo! So yeah, we're not going to be doing one on Christmas Day. It probably won't be doing a scrim session on. I don't know if Rippy's
No
up.
activities next week. Wrap it up. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No stuff next week. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Goodbye, everyone.